Hello, 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 everyone. Everybody that happens to tune in anyway. So I have some cards that are pre-pulled, and I will go over them, and then we will pull some clarifying cards as we go along. So right now I'm using Tarot Obscura. This was like a purchase I hadn't intended on making. I went to a bookstore and I was like, oh yeah, they have tarot cards at bookstores. I'm gonna see what they got. And I bought 2 decks kind of on a whim, and this one was definitely very unique. So yeah, and then we also have the Astral Tarot in Space Global Art Collaboration deck. That's the cards that are already down, and then I may potentially also use, not sure, the Light Seers Tarot for further clarification, possibly, not sure. Okay, so we have the High Priestess as the first card that came up here, and to further explain that is the Chariot in reverse. So this is talking about, well, one, there's a portal, and the portal looks like it's mechanical in nature, but the thing that's powering it is not mechanical in nature. So this is talking about integration, balance, again, how you have the light and dark here, of not only, you know, the power that you contain within you, but the tools, you know, those are utilizing the tools within you, but also utilizing the tools that you have physically at your disposal. This is talking about tuning out the outside world and creating your own world through your connection with your higher self and the secret knowledge that you contain within you. This is also talking about getting downloads. Just to show you up close here, the High Priestess, she's got some major energy waves headed directly to her crown chakra, which is the final component of activation of this portal, is the activation of the crown chakra. And the only way this is truly achieved is through her connections with not only realizing that connecting to things within her is also connecting with the elemental world around her, because everything outside of you is a reflection of what you are. Your world will be a reflection of what you are. And to further explain that is the Chariot in reverse. So I feel this is talking about you don't need to go anywhere or be any particular place to reach your goals. And your goals aren't about winning or losing. Your goals are about expanding and realizing your true potential. It's not about victory. It's about expansion. And the obstacles are completely removed from your path because you're not traveling on a path. You don't need to physically go anywhere to actually go somewhere. And that kind of goes into this card here, where we have the Page of Swords. Again, there's a portal. And this particular Page of Swords is a cat person. So show the quick up close here. Now look, both of these cards have that red, that passion, that fire right at their heart. Usually heart energy is expressed with green, but I think that's talking about our physical connection, you know, blood, our DNA, And the first species that was around is the Lyrans, and the Lyrans were cat people. They were, you know, I'm not an expert or anything. I don't remember the specifics, but, you know, they were very advanced as far as psychically, and they were very big compared to us. That's neither here nor there. What's important about this card is it's talking about making the connections with your star family. Realizing that those connections still exist within your DNA, that all that information is embedded in your DNA. This has some type of alien writing on the sword and around the portal, which literally, if you look at this card, it doesn't look like writing, but it's a type, it could be a type of writing. It's a series of dots, which could be a language. It could be a computer language. This is, again, talking about integration of the past and the future, combining it into one, realizing that time is an illusion, realizing that you don't need to go anywhere to travel anywhere. This is, well, normally pages talk about young people or somebody that's young at heart. And the High Priestess is usually not talking about a young person. It's usually talking about somebody that's established and may not necessarily be old, but is very wise within, due to their experiences and they're initiated into having this secret knowledge. Sometimes it talks about, you know, secret orders and things like that, but really it's just gaining access to secret knowledge. And that secret knowledge is in your blood. It's inside of you. It's around you. It's part of you. It's what makes your reality. And again, this is keeping the outside world out here. Here, it's going from dark to light, expansion. And to further explain the Page of Swords here is the Three of Pentacles in the reverse. So the Three of Pentacles, you know, with it being in the reverse, it's saying that what you're doing here with the Page of Swords is you're doing it by yourself, because you absolutely do not need anyone or anything other than what you already have contained within you. Because again, your world, your outside world, is a reflection of your inner world. And this particular deck, they are also making a portal, a star portal, which, I mean, it's not too far-fetched considering the theme of this deck has to do with space. But the first couple cards out here are talking about creating a portal, which I feel is significant. And yeah, we'll go back to that when I pull cards. And then the next set of cards here is a tower, further explained by the Five of Swords. So feeding off of what has already transpired is here in both of these scenarios, it shows like here, she's like kind of like a warrior, and she's fighting against the dark by being the light, by being the portal. And, you know, here she is removing all obstacles, creating everything that she wants to through her connections with her higher selves, and realizing that her higher self is the light, is the portal. So then all of a sudden here we have a tower. And to further explain that is the Five of Swords. So if you look at these two cards here up close, both of these cards, there's a planet exploding, there's a world exploding. which could in itself be a type of portal. It's almost like, you know, well, it's not almost like, it's literally your perspective of how you want to see this. Your perspective could be like these two cards here, where you're untouchable, unstoppable, unattainable, and you are not affected by anything that's being thrown at you because you're contained within your portal. You have a boundary of light because you understand the connections that you have with your ancient past, and you understand the power that you truly hold. Here, this card, this Tower card, talks a lot about our ancient past here, and it's exploding and it's clearing out the dark from this explosion. And it talks about literally like the ancient past. There are secrets being hidden about the ancient past. There are secrets being hidden about aliens in our past and how they're connected to us. And the story, the religious stories, like see here, it looks like a burning bush. It could be a burning tree. This guy looks like he's some kind of saint. He's got a halo around his head. And what is that? Like, what is that? He's got some kind of like electrical symbol thing above his head. And if you look super close, it's like, is that a stigmata? Or is that just the way his hands are? He's wearing red and white, which are in stark contrast to each other as far as what those colors mean. You know, white is about purity and honesty and, you know, not hiding anything, where red is about passion and lust and love and fire. So maybe not necessarily opposites, but it's not usually something you see on somebody that's considered a religious figure. Usually they're wearing blue or something and have a gold crown or something, or a gold halo. It's an interesting choice of colors. And then it also shows there's a crystal skull here surrounded by a very poisonous snake, but it's eating its own tail like the Ouroboros. This is talking about our ancient civilizations and the secrets that they practice. Well, it's not really secrets, but they're secret to us now because they've been kept from us. Their practices and their religions reflect the natural world and our connections not only with aliens and the stars, but with the earth and our physical nature around us and our animals. This talks of like showing a space monkey, like I think the first astronauts they sent into outer space as an experiment were monkeys, and they never came back. They died in outer space. Like, we've treated our nature, not only Earth, but the animals, like they're lesser than us, and they're not. And they are connected to their ancient wisdom that they hold within them, and it's never been separated from them like it has us. So this Tower moment is all about getting rid of old belief systems, old paradigms that don't serve us because they're a lie. And to further explain that is the Five of Swords here. And this Five of Swords, you can see that they are being backed into a corner. He is making a decision that he does not want to. He's turning his back on what's actually happening. He's turning his back to this little thing. Look, that little thing is the same as this. So what he's doing on this device is causing this to happen, and he feels like he's being forced to do it. And it's killing people. And it doesn't matter what his reason behind doing it is. He's ultimately doing it because he feels forced, and he's doing it because he's afraid. He can say that it's out of obligation. He can say because he's a soldier and he's doing what he's told to be doing, or, you know, it's his job, or he's weighing out the pros and the cons, and it's okay if some people have to die, including an entire planet, because the information that he's been presented with is showing him that that ultimately doesn't matter. Which, if you have those kind of conflicts within you, and you're not living in your truth, and you're not being your truth, and you're doing something that you feel you're forced to do, then you know it's a lie, you know it's not right, and therefore you shouldn't do it. And this kind of energy, this kind of behavior is bringing about this Tower. So it's almost like if you are living in your truth and you are doing, whether you're, you know, young or old, whether you're using technology or not, whatever it is, if you're living in your truth and being your truth and saying, to hell with who doesn't like it, try to come at me, I'm ready for you, there are no obstacles in my way because I create my reality, you are protected. Literally. Here, not so much. You're going to be a part of this reality that explodes if you give in to fear. But they both have an important role to play, because if this Tower moments are the moments that we live for in life. And this isn't avoiding the Tower moment. This is adding to the Tower moment, because these kind of people exist just like these kind of people exist. And it's a conflict in itself. The energy is conflicting, and there has to be a balance, or else there will be a Tower. And the Tower is the equalizer. The Tower is what brings balance. And the negative side here is just pushing it over the edge. And those who aren't negatively oriented are doing what they need to do to erect their protection. And yeah. So the next two cards coming up here is the Ten of Pentacles in reverse and the Queen of Wands to further explain it. So I personally feel it's kind of weird that they use this depiction of the Ten of Pentacles, because to me, it could be one of two things. So I'll just show it to you in the upright. Yeah, show it to you in the upright so you can see it here. So it could be this person thinking about her past and thinking about how things were in the past and how she used to be free and swimming around and not contained and had all the tools at her disposal and her buddies with her, just doing whatever and just running around being free. But now she's inside and she's kind of confined and trapped. Yeah, her buddies are still with her, but she's still not really living in the moment. She's thinking about the past, or in the past she was living in the moment. That could be one interpretation of it. Another interpretation of it is, again, I'm talking about this if it were in the upright, is she feels trapped. And she feels like she is too old to really do the things that the young people are doing. She feels like her options and resources are limited, and she's trying to make the best out of what she has, but she still longs for something else. So again, I feel like that's a really weird interpretation of the Ten of Pentacles. Yeah, so I feel like this is saying that some people feel this way, right? They feel like the situation is out of their hands, and that they're doing the best that they can with what they have, even if it isn't ideal. And to further explain that is the Queen of Wands. And the Queen of Wands does what she wants to do regardless of the consequences. And the wand suit usually, each of the I forget what it's called, but like the king, queen, and all that stuff, not the 1 through 10. Each of those cards are usually depicted with a salamander. A salamander talks about being protection against the elemental fire, so that they can burn brightly and freely without having to worry about burning themselves, where usually the Queen of Wands doesn't have that. And you can see there is no salamander here. What is here is a cat, a black cat. Again, talking about the Lyran connection. So with the black cat symbolizes being lucky. Because, you know, they say when a black cat crosses your path, it's bad luck. But this black cat will never cross her path because it's her companion. So luck is always with her. And she has a huge, fiery, energetic crown. She has a physical crown, but she also has a fiery crown. She is donned in gold, yellow, and sunflowers all over her. And she's either creating or connecting with this star, this bright gold star. So I feel like this is talking about two sides of the same coin. You can feel like you're limited and feel like you're doing the best you can with what you got, even though it's really not good enough, and you're trying to make the best out of it. Or you're like this Queen of Wands, where you're like, I'm gonna do me, I'm gonna do what I want, and I'm fucking badass, so that's just the way it is. And they both have their companions, but you know, her cat's kind of slumped over and asleep, and the dog's just like not even paying attention. This cat is by her side, and it is also a connection to her star family. And she is very psychic, very intuitive, very in touch with her truth, and she lives her truth regardless of who likes it and who thinks it's too much, who thinks she's shining too bright, because the darkness will never touch her. Where here they're just engulfed in the darkness, and they're depending on an outside source to light them up. Her light comes from within. And I feel like that's what the results of this tower, it's either the results of this tower thing that's happening, and it's happening now. Or it could be saying, this is what every person is, as this tower is happening, some people are dealing with it like this, and just really embracing their truth and their power and their sovereignty. Or they are receding and diminishing their light and feeling like they have no options and have no resources, and they have to depend on other people and other things to provide that to them. Feeling stuck or feeling free and lucky and out of luck. Two sides of the same coin. Where do you want to, what side of the coin do you want to be on? It's up to you. And then the last set of cards, these cards actually all came out in a pile together. I just laid them out this way. So all together, I feel like this is talking about, with this 10 of Cups being all dark, and then the lights are the stars, which seem super far away. They're doing what they can to be as close as they can to that light, even though they're surrounded in darkness. But the darkness doesn't bother them. They appreciate the darkness because it makes the lights so bright, and they're able to see it and see the beauty of the light. So they're not looking at the darkness as a bad thing. They're looking at the darkness as an integrated part of what they're trying to do, which is stargazing. And they're coming together as a unit. This could it could be a family, or it could just be some people that really like to look at the stars, and that's what they're doing. And then together, in coming in the combination of bringing together the light and dark, and not feeling like it has to be one or the other, brings healing. And it creates an environment in which the light and the dark come together. I just noticed that there's the phases of the moon cycle here. It's all a cycle. Sometimes it's brighter, sometimes it's darker, but they all have an integrated part together. And then with the Knight of Cups, you know, this could be talking about a new love. I mean, this literally could be talking about a romantic love, or it could just be talking about a new passion, meeting your tribe, connecting with not just your star family, but other people that are physically around you, that are existing in your new environment that you've created through not only the tower that happened, but through your realization and your connections with your sovereignty and your true power, and, you know, ancient knowledge that you hold within you. Combining all of this with what's happening, you know, you start to meet other people, other like-minded people, and they offer you love with, not with the point of expecting something back in return, and vice versa. So I'm going to use this, what is it called? Tarot Oscura, to further explain. So we'll go back to the High Priestess and the Chariot. Please give me a little more information about the High Priestess and the Chariot. This is the Four of Cups in the reverse. Four of Cups in the reverse. I'll show it to you in the upright. This deck is kind of out there. So the Four of Cups in the reverse. So with this, I feel this is talking about you not giving into the manipulation that's happening around you. You're not sipping the juice, shall we say. You're not feeding into the hype. You're not being a zombie. You see what's happening around you, even though you're in your own little bubble. And the reason why you're not giving into that, feeding into that, allowing it to affect you, is because you're staying in your lane, you're staying in your bubble. You know the truth, and the truth isn't what is outside of you. The truth is what's inside of you, and your world is reflecting that. And that's why you're not. That's why you're not feeding into the BS. That's why you're not drinking the juice, because it's not really juice. It is something that makes you a zombie. Something that makes you easily controlled and takes you away from the truth within you. It distracts you. I think this is talking about not getting too immersed into like social media and the news, and the fear that's all around. Tell me more about the Page of Swords and the Three of Pentacles in reverse, please. Whoa, that is a lot of cards. So I'm just going to take, I guess, the two that came up. Judgment. What is this? And the Seven of Pentacles in the reverse. You know, these cards are out there. This deck is new to me, so I'm still kind of getting a feel for it. So that's what we got here. So with these two cards coming out to further explain these two cards. Looks like they're walking on the dead. Well, one, you've made a judgment call and you've picked the side of the coin that you're going to be on. And you've decided you're not going to be one of the dead that's being walked all over. You're not going to be one of the zombies. And this is in the reverse, and it looks like she's eating something or something is going into her mouth. Again, you're not putting the shit in your body. And I think we all know what shit I'm talking about. You're not going to let it poison you. You're calling BS on that BS. And you see what's going on. It doesn't matter what you hear, you see what's going on. You see what's happening. You know the truth. And that's why you're here with the sword. Ready and willing and waiting, and you're very skilled and very fast with that sword, so good luck to anybody that tries you. Yes. Can you like give me like, yeah, I'm recording. So next we have the Three of Cups. Again, I'll show you the card a little closer here. So Three of Cups. I feel like what this is saying, that if this was the reality that you chose to be a part of, the one where the tower happens, because the world is splitting into two. Again, two sides of the same coin. Which side of the coin you want to be on? In order to play a role in this, you can't be your truthful self. Like she's wearing a mask, okay? She's hiding her true identity. These people are not wearing masks. That's what their face actually looks like. They're some weird little creepy little freaky monster clowns. She's pretending. She's hiding. She's also wearing red and white. Because she knows the truth deep down. And she's either hiding who she really is out of fear for her own safety, or she's faking it until she makes it. But that's still making a choice. That's still saying you're denying your truth. And that's still you going along with what you're being told to do. Even if you don't really believe that, and you know that you don't believe that. But to the outside world, you're saying, well, I'm buying into it. You are still, in essence, buying into it, feeding into it, giving that type of energy power and adding to the tower. So, moral of the story, be your truth, live your truth, or suffer the consequences. Because the immediate feeling that may happen when you're not living in your truth and being your truth is fun and partying and having fun and, you know, blending in, and nobody really knows the truth but you. But this is the end result. The end result is death and a tower and dismantling of all of that, all those things that you're participating in and enjoying and partying with. It's short-lived. And what is the Ten of Pentacles? Please tell me more about the Ten of Pentacles in reverse and the Queen of Wands. Yeah, I just saw like you're just thinking on these cards here, you're calling judgment on this harvest. You know it's poison. The Nine of Pentacles in reverse. Just to show it to you in the upright here. The Nine of Pentacles in the reverse. So with this card being in the reverse, I feel like this is saying that this is definitely a solo dolo journey. It's also talking about an opposition to the masculine energy that is in the forefront of our society today. This is a time of really integrating that feminine power that we all have, whether you're masculine or feminine. You know, talking about really focusing on your intuition, focusing on what feels right, focusing on the inner hidden world of your reality. And it's not a party. This isn't a party. This is tough. It's transformation is not easy. But nothing worth having is easy. When you work hard at something to accomplish something and then you accomplish it, it feels so much better. So you understand the struggles that came with it. You understand what you overcame for it to happen, for it to come into fruition, and it changed you irrevocably. And you do not get that when somebody just gives you something. You do not get that if somebody just says, here's the answer to all your problems. You know, that's not going to solve any problems. It's just going to create more problems, to be honest, because you didn't manifest that in your life. I mean, maybe you did, but it's short-lived. It's not sustainable. And that goes with short-lived, right? Being old is an illusion. I just heard that. Dying is an optional choice. When you realize how reality really works in time, because like here she's either looking physically at her grandchild or she's thinking about her past and seeing herself as a younger person. So we can sit there and be like, oh, well, thoughts isn't real. What do you mean thoughts aren't real? Thoughts create emotions in your body, and your body physically reacts to those emotions, and your body thinks it's real. Ever hear of PTSD, for example? That's a thing that happens that's due to you or emotionally and mentally being somewhere where you're not physically, but then your physical body reacts to it in a very real way. Time is an illusion. And so are your boundaries. They are an illusion. And tell me more about the 10. Whoa, yeah, these last three cards. Tell me more. The Four of Swords. It looks like an owl person. So Four of Swords. You can see it here. I just heard the all-seeing eye. I'm actually drawing a blank when I'm looking at this card. Other than being protected. Four Swords usually talks about a time of healing, a time of rest, you know, resting because you're healing, I guess, which is appropriate considering it's grouped here with the Three of Swords. Make sure that's not cut off. And I think this might be talking about dreams. So, yeah, I mean, I guess it would make sense. All this shit going on, all this like work, inner work with energy and source connections and seeing the world around you fall apart and seeing some people, you know, fall to the hypocrisy and other people excelling, seeing all of these changes happening. You're going to need to take some time for yourself to really heal. And that's part of, you know, resting and recuperating is part of the healing process. It's part of being able to make space in your life for new people where love can be shared between you. It's part of getting rid of any fear that you might still hold within you, because of all these things that you've been through and witnessed and the atrocities that you see happening in the world around you. But realizing that you don't have to participate in those things. You can shut them out and you can just live in your world. And the more and more you take part of the atrocities that are happening in the outside world that don't necessarily affect your life directly, the more and more you solidify it in your reality and it becomes real. But when you focus on self-love and healing, the reality that you create is the Ten of Cups. The Ten of Cups coupled with healing and resting and new love. So in the end, it's very much worth it. It's worth the struggle. It's worth the convictions. It's worth standing your ground. And I'm going to pull one final message from the Light Seers Tarot to see. One final message, please. That one kind of bent, so I'll pull it. The Three of Cups in reverse. Yeah, this is again talking about being solo dolo. Like this newfound love and this Ten of Cups and this journey that you're going on is a very personal one, and we each are going through it in our own way. And this is about making those connections with ourselves. That we need to be more focused on connecting with the things that are inside of us and within us and what's important to us as an individual, and not worry so much about what everyone else is going through, because they're each going through their own journey personally. And you can't change people's minds. You can't make anyone else do anything. All that you can do is what you can do. And give me one more card. The Five of Swords. And the struggle isn't over. The struggle is not over. And the struggle is within you, always within you. there will always be an effort to keep things balanced. And and with that, I'm going to end it because my son has some company over and I'm getting super distracted. Hello. And thanks for stopping by. I hope you got something out of my reading. Love and light, blah, blah, blah. Love ya.